Alright, what is going on, everybody? This is Trudger MC, and yes, today we are back at it again with Todd McFarlane's Manga Spawn. Ultra Action Figures say we are looking at Manga Spawn himself. And he has a pull-off head and, create Cybersect and ampersand and reveal hidden head. I don't know why they have two different ands there. Kind of bothers me, but whatever. So, yeah, I think this guy looks kind of interesting, and he's from America's Best-Selling Comic Book. Again, I don't know if that's accurate, but whatever. So, there's Spawn, so we have yet to look at Violator, Goddess, and Curse, but we have looked at Clown already, and we have looked at the Master of Stealth. So, there's that, and then there's Series 8, you might recognize Rotar. There's the movie series, you might recognize Jessica Priest and Clown. And there's Total Chaos Series 2, you might recognize Poacher and Quartz. So here is all of the instructions for what this guy's all about. And then there is the bio for him, in case you want to know what this guy's all about. So, yeah, so that's about all that we have going on for the box, although I will say that the box looks really cool. I'm a big fan of it. But, yeah, so I suppose without any further ado, let's open this up and see what this guy's all about, shall we? Say we should do that, because this guy is ultimately a toy. So, toys are meant to be, you know, they're meant to be played with and posed and all of that. And, you know, having them go up against some other characters and whatnot. So, there's that. We'll take a look at that. And then, yeah, so there's that. And then I guess we just get this guy out of here. So, how do we do that? I guess just like that. There we go. And, oh, okay. So apparently, part of his armor broke off, but that's okay. Does that just go right back in place? Yeah, I guess it kind of does. Alright, so there is that. And then we have the wings here, and then the sword. And of course, the sword has tape on it, because why wouldn't it? So let's get the tape out of there. Get the tape out of there. Come on. Let's get the tape out. Come on, for all the good people. All the good people watching. Like, if y'all are watching this, you're good people. I like having y'all around, so. Yeah. So there's that, and then we don't really need to take a look at this, because, if y'all have seen, yeah, it's the same one, so if y'all have seen the other reviews, you know what that's about, so we're not going to take a look at that, but instead we are going to take a look at this guy here. So, he looks really cool, and so I feel like for a comparison that makes sense, here he is with the other Spawn from, Series 9 here, and, as you can see, they're actually similar in height. I actually thought this guy was really big, but, they're kind of similar in height there. And then as far as the Spawn that was released prior to this, here's Spawn 3. And as you can see that even though the cape is different, because this one actually has a cape, this one clearly doesn't, but they're actually kind of similar in height there. And so I feel like it only makes sense. Let's have him out of scale. But actually, he doesn't look too bad there. So he's actually a pretty big 6-inch figure there. So as far as how big he actually is, why don't we find out together? Right, this is going in the right direction. Alright, so he is, let's say, to the top of, I'd say like to the top of these things and to about the top spike on his head there. Looks like he is, let's say, 7 1/4 inches. And if we flip that around to metric, he is, let's say, about 18.5 centimeters, give or take. So, this guy has a really interesting design to him. Definitely looks like a big robot version of Spawn, which I guess is kind of what they were going for with like a Gundam, you know, anime type thing. And I gotta be honest, I actually kind of like it. So, yeah, I like the head there. That looks interesting. And yes, I do know that he has a head underneath that, and I can actually see it there. So, we are going to be taking a look at that, don't worry. I like how it's kind of like a lime green for the eyes, as well as like these green, like, it almost looks like tubes on the back, and I know that that's meant to be a thing. Should we do that now? I think maybe we should do that now. So I think if the head just kind of slides off like that, and then there we go. There's Spawn's real head underneath that. So yeah, he is kind of the same color with like these lime green eyes, and that definitely looks a lot like the Al Simmons Spawn that we all know. So that's pretty cool. I think I might keep him like that. I kind of like that look. But yeah, so I guess I can show you, like, you know, here's the head there and, you know, the helmet in more detail, so that looks pretty cool. And then you might be wondering, well, what's with that? Well, I do know about this guy's play feature, where this apparatus here can come off of his back pretty easily, it looks like. So that's pretty good. I don't want it to be too difficult, and I definitely don't want it to break. Yeah, I think we just kind of slide it on off there. So, you know, something like that. And yeah, so there we go. There's that. I actually like it better where he's not having all these, you know, claws on there. So there you go. Looks like all these are fairly positionable. So yeah, this can move. And yes, I did say positionable because Manga Clown is on my mind. So yeah, and I guess it just kind of goes like that. And then he does have these wings here. They look really cool. They're definitely just a clear, you know, color on there. But you can just, like, you know, pop them on into here, or maybe the other way. Which way are they supposed to go? I think we should look at that. Okay, yeah, so it just kind of goes in there. It's very tight fit. Very tight fit. There we go, I got one. Alright, so yeah, it just kind of goes like that. And then, just for simplicity's sake, we'll put the other one in there too. And, yeah, like, get in there. Get in there! Come on! You can do it. Don't break on me. Just go in there. Go in there. Ugh. Whatever. Y'all get the idea. So basically, it's like, you know, you have those on there, and then you can take the insect head, and you can kind of flip it around, and just kind of peg it on like so. You're supposed to do that anyway. Yeah, so there you go. You kind of get the idea. So it would basically be, you know, like that. So it definitely looks different with like a red head and like a black body, but you know, whatever. It's all good. It's all good. So you kind of get the idea, and I guess for articulations like these are supposed to move, but they're kind of stuck. So that's about it. And then, you know, the wings can go like that. And then you also get the idea of how we would look with the wings on, but I'm going to be honest, I don't really like it. So you kind of get the idea. We're going to put that aside. So yeah, that's kind of it. And yeah, if you want a better idea of what he's supposed to look like, there you go. So that's kind of what we got there. So let's get back to the spawn at hand here, because I'm going to be honest, I like this guy more, kind of like this, to be honest. So he's got the big M on there, very appropriate for a spawn. You got these tubes on the side there, that looks pretty cool. You know, he's got like some screws in there. I think those are supposed to be screws anyway. I know they're not actually screws, but I think that's what they're supposed to be. Got these spikes on the top there for his shoulder pads, and you know, they look pretty good. If we go around to the back, you can kind of see where the, you know, where the wing thing attaches to, the wing thing. And then you got like some grooves on there, and then, you know, it's kind of simple on the back, but then again, there is supposed to be something, you know, on there, so it makes sense they wouldn't have a ton of detail on there. And then you got like asymmetrical designs for the arms. So this one's just kind of simple and plain and all of that, and just has a black hand on the end there. But then for this one, it's a lot bigger, bulkier, and then it has like a spike here on the end, kind of going up that way. But then there's this massive blade right here, and he has a hand almost like this, like he can hold a gun. He doesn't come with a gun. He does come with a sword, and we'll take a look at that later. So there you go. And then you do have I think this is a real chain. I think this is a real chain there around his waist, so that's pretty cool. It's not like the plastic chains that they did with Spawn 3 there. So that's kind of cool. And then you have, like, you know, some more details, some more grooves on there, and some metal, and I don't know what exactly this is supposed to be. Like, I get that the silver is supposed to be metal, but like, what's the black? Is that like black, you know, like metal that's like colored black, or is it supposed to be like rubber? I don't know what that's supposed to be. And then he does have some spikes there on the backs of his knees. And I did notice that one of the spikes came off. But I'm not worried about that. You know, you can just kind of have it, you know, back in there, and then that's close enough. And really, like, I'm not too worried about it, because you can, like, barely notice them if you look at it from the front. So it doesn't really bother me that one kind of came off. But do be warned that might happen if you get this figure, or if you have it, you know, that might have happened to you as well. I don't know, but I do like the exhaust. It almost looks like exhaust fans or whatever, like all over his body. I think that looks really cool. And then, yeah, his feet look really cool. They're like really big and chunky, so it's like this guy can stand up without issue. So I like that, you know, no falling over with this guy. Now watch, I say that, watch him like fall over now or something like that. But yeah, so, and then with the back there, you do have some spikes on the back of his feet, because of course you do. So that kind of gets in the way of him walking, I would assume, but whatever. Speaking of walking, I guess we can talk about that now. So the helmeted head here, it can like rotate a little bit. Does this rotate? No, it doesn't. It can rock back and forth though. So if you want him to do that, you could do that. But yeah, so I guess, you know, we can like put this back in there like so. Then you can just kind of, you know, like close it on up, and then just kind of have this go over it, you know, whatever. I'll worry about that later. Besides, I like him with the real head. So there you go. There's nothing in the torso, but for the arms, they can rotate like that. So I think that's pretty good. They can also go back a little bit, but they do kind of get in the way of this. So there we go. And you do get a single joint for the elbow there. So that's pretty good. He can slice and dice with this thing, and his invisible gun. You can't forget about the invisible gun. So there you go. And then there's nothing in the wrist. Like I said, nothing in the torso. For the legs, they can go forward about that far, so I think that's pretty good. And can they go back? They actually can go back. Look at that, McFarlane figures with legs that can go back. Isn't that cool? So there you go. He can actually kick really far forward. Looks like he's doing some karate type pose or something like that. I don't know. So that's pretty cool. And they do get a single joint for the knee there, and I think that that's pretty good. You get a nice 90-degree bend, which I think is really cool considering how chunky this guy is. But yeah, so there you go. And then there's nothing else going on. So nothing in the ankles or feet or toe articulation. He doesn't have any of that. But to be honest, I don't think he needs any of that, because it's like he's a big guy in a big suit of armor. So I think that makes sense. So there you go. And then the last thing to talk about is the sword. So if any of y'all know what that says, definitely let me know, because I'm curious. I have no idea. But yeah, so there you go. And then you do get a Spawn logo on there, because of course you do, and then you have some black on there. And then on the other side, it's just plain, even though there is a Spawn logo on that. So I think this is supposed to be the side of the sword that's to be displayed, so I guess he can just kind of fit this into his hand here. His right hand, of course, because his left hand is holding the invisible gun, and I'm not gonna take the invisible gun out of his left hand, so I'm just gonna, you know, put it into his right hand, kind of like that, and you get the idea of, you know, he can lead the charge into battle with his like blade on the one hand and then holding the sword in the other. So there you go. I think that this guy's pretty cool, and I do know that like a couple years back they made this like really big Manga Spawn figure that was like colored blue. So if any of y'all watching have that figure, I want to know, like, you know, what do you think of that guy compared to this guy here? So I think that would be kind of interesting. But yeah, so that's about all that I have going on. So if you enjoyed this video, you like this figure, you like the line, you know, anything like that, be sure to leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you think of this guy, if you like him, if you don't like him. If you want to see more content like this, do be sure to subscribe. You can also let me know what y'all want to see more of. And yeah, so that's about all that I have for today. So other than all of that, I do hope that you enjoyed, and that I will see you all later. Goodbye.